I'm just gonna get straight to my post-match analysis. This is the first time since we lost to Bolton last season where I'm ending the stream early. It's just pathetic, dude. Absolutely pathetic. Where's the... What can I say? I mean, the scoreline speaks for itself. It just speaks for itself. And, I mean, I don't want to be too negative here. I'm going to try to be as level-headed as I can. But it was just a defensive shit show today. Quite simply. I mean, every single goal, there was something that we could have done better. And fair play to Mansfield. I mean, I'm not going to say that Mansfield were not good and that we were shit and that's why they won. No, they were good. They were quality in the second half. Like, second half of the first half and the entire second half, really, ever since that red card. Fair play to Mansfield. They didn't force anything. They were up 10 men, or they were up... they were up a man. And they just kept knocking around, just waiting for us to make a mistake, waiting for us to bite, and then they played a couple 1-2s around our defenders and just put a lot of crosses in. But anyway, let me get into AFC Wimbledon here. Let me just go down the line. I'm going to really quickly talk about the first 15 minutes, because the first 15 minutes was pretty much all Wimbledon. After that, just fell apart. So the first goal both goals really coming from Josh Davison. The first instance was just a really good finish all around. It was a clearance from Nightingale in the first goal. One of the Mansfield Town center backs tried to head it away, but it didn't. It only traveled like a good 5 yards, and then NYC immediately on top of it. It was NYC that received the pass from George Marsh, who was on top of it. Marsh laid it off to I think it was Marsh that laid it off to NYC. NYC put it. No, it was, I'm confusing it. I don't remember if NYC got the return pass or whatever. He played a good through ball over to Davison. Davison just driving it in between the legs of the keeper. Decent finish. And then, of course, he gets in the score sheet again about 10 minutes later, and around the 15th minute or so, Davison with a fantastic header from a Nathan Young-Coombs cross off of it was a counterattack. Nathan Young-Coombs, good first touch to set him up into space. I thought Curry could have played him through into the penalty area, but he played the ball straight to NYC. NYC, good heavy first touch. Put the cross in, and Davison, great header, great finish. After that, all Mansfield, really. It started with the first goal where, it was coming. That first goal was coming. Ever since then, Mansfield putting on the pressure. There was a huge gap between our center mids and our back three. There's just a huge hole there every time Mansfield would come forward. Anytime that they would get past our center mids, there would just be like 10 yards of space for them to attack our final third. And eventually we just gave in. It was, for the first goal, it was Lapsley holding the ball up and turning away from Paris Magoma. Magoma losing out in the physicality battle there. And they played a through ball in. One of their players gets brought down by Jack Curry, which it could have been a red card, to be honest. Did get lucky with a yellow. It was denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, but the first touch from the Mansfield man just took him away, took him away from the ball, and Zanev collected it as he got brought down. So thankfully, only a yellow for Curry there, but Oates puts it away. More pressure being put on. It was just a cross coming in on that right-hand side from Bowery. To be fair, Bowery just played really well on that right-hand side, putting several crosses in the box. Lee Brown every now and again not able to keep up with Bowery when Bowery would take a touch for a cross. And Alex Pierce just didn't jump for that one. Unfortunately, should have jumped for it and just didn't make any commitment to it. And it was just an easy header there for Lapsley. The red card. I'm going to get into the red card. I thought it was technically by the book a red, but it was absolutely pathetic. Pathetic the way that player went down. Rolled around as if he got his face burned off. Pathetic. I don't know if the referee would have given a red card. Absence of VAR. I don't think the ref would have given a red card had that player not gone down and just rolled around as if he got burned. Like, it's pathetic. I mean, yeah, Gunter did extend the arm a little bit, and it was around like the back of the neck, You shouldn't do that. Gunter overreacted because the player kicked the ball at Gunter while he was down after he got fouled. Definitely an overreaction from Gunter, though, getting up and kind of pushing the player. Hands are a little too high. Hit him around the back of the neck, and the player just rolled around trying to milk something and got the red card. Technically enough for a red card, though, in my opinion. Gunter did overreact a bit with the hands. But then since then, after that second half, all Mansfield really just playing it patient, picking their opportunities, and I'm going to go back to Paris Magoma. Absolute liability. I hate to say it. I hate to give Paris Magoma stick because he's been quality in the first 3 games, at least on the attacking end. On the defensive end, just not strong enough. Just losing out on tries to get in a couple of challenges, but gets shrugged off pretty easily and lost his man a couple of times. Magoma for that third goal, from what I remember, the goal from George Maris, it was like a cross that came in and like around 12 yards out, he was able to slot it home. Magoma just got caught ball watching a little bit and not able to track back. And then that 5th goal that they scored, no, I'm sorry, it was Magoma that took a step out to the outside back, and then the outside back played in that hole that Paris Magoma left. And then they just laid it off top of the 18-yard box and a finish for George Maris. That hole was initially created by Magoma taking a step out to try to challenge the outside back, who was a good 10, 12 yards away. He doesn't need to make that challenge. He should just leave it for Curry or for Davison to make that challenge. So just, spatial awareness there from Magoma, unfortunately lacking. Lost his mark a couple of times, though, on other instances. It was just not a good performance all around defensively, really. I thought Nightingale was a bit woeful as well. Got caught over the top a couple of times. Got beat for pace. And overall, we just weren't good defensively, whether it was losing track of our marks or just getting easily caught 1-2s. They played so many 1-2s around us, it was ridiculous. And the 4th goal came from a header from Harbottle. Nightingale was marking him, unfortunately, on that one, too. Just wasn't able to win it over Harbottle. Just all-around poor performance. Just a complete far cry from that Hartlepool game where I thought we defended fairly well. Just terrible, really. I don't really have anything else to say. Player ratings. Zanev, I think, did okay. Not much he could have done on most of the goals, really. Aside from maybe the 3rd goal, maybe could have come out and punched it. Or 4th goal, the header from Harbottle. Could have came out and punched it away. Other than that, really didn't have much blame on him for any of those goals, really. Brown was a good 5. Pierce was maybe a 6. Nightingale was a 4. Curry did get beat a couple times. He didn't really have any influence on the attacking end aside from the 2nd goal where he did drive it towards their final third. Magoma was a 2. I'm sorry to say, Magoma. Defensively, just not there at all. George Marsh was a 7.5. I thought he was good. I thought he got stuck in a couple challenges. He was the only one really that timed his challenges. Like, he would go towards the player whenever he needed to, and if there was a good 6 or 7 yards of space between him and the person on the ball, he wouldn't challenge him. Because if the other player is 6 or 7 yards away and you come at him, they're just going to play 1-2 around you easily. And I thought Magoma just kind of took the bait a little bit too easily on a couple of those occasions. George Marsh was a 7.5. Gunter was a 4, I'd say, before he got red carded. Asau was a 6. Davison was a 9. Although that second half he was kind of a 7. Was kind of quiet in that second half. I'd say 8.5 overall. And NYC was 7.5. Me personally, I'm not expecting a B team player from a Prem side to perform well. I know. I mean, I don't want to give... Honestly, I think I've given a little too much stick to Paris. I mean, yeah, he was the reason for maybe 2 of the goals and being... I don't know. He was kind of a liability for 2 of those goals, but he's still learning. He's very young, right? Brentford B side player, still learning, still young, still has a lot to learn. But when it comes to on-the-ball quality, certainly can really provide for us. That being said, going forward, also our substitutes as well. I gotta give ratings for our substitutes. Ogundere was decent. I thought he got stuck in a couple of challenges, and he defended better than our back three today. I think he did okay. I'll give him a 7. David Fisher didn't have too much of an impact aside from a couple of times where he came forward and tried to win headers in the final third. I thought he was good. I think he could act as a sort of makeshift target man. I think he was decent. Give him a 7. Chisla came on really late. Don't really have a rating on him. Callum Bay, don't really have a rating on him. And Bartley, don't have a rating on him. I'd like to see a little bit more, though, of David Fisher. I think going forward, maybe we could see him not starting, but we can see him coming off the bench every now and again. And Ogundere, I was fairly impressed with him too. We'll see what happens going forward. Maybe he could be a substitute for Gunter every now and again. I liked what I saw from both Fisher and Ogundere. But that being said, what do we do going forward? I'd say still start Magoma and Marsh in the center mid pairings. I still think we should keep the starting 11. But there has to be some kind of mentality shift, and soon, because I do not want to get into another rabbit hole. I think our team this season certainly better than last season, but we're gonna have to keep aware. We're gonna have to keep a good eye on some of those red flags and nullify those red flags as soon as possible. Red flag number 1, mentality, of course, going down the shit anytime something happens, anytime something remotely bad happens. Number 2 is just defensive tracking. I think, we looked elementary today in terms of keeping track of our players and just getting caught ball watching a couple times. And then, just seeing the games out. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. I got to go. I'm not going to be able to do fan reactions on Twitter and Facebook. I don't have time. I do have to go to work. But see you guys on the flip side.